Welcome back to Let's Do It. I'm your host, Rosalind Rawls. For those of you who are just tuning in, our topic today is all about entrepreneurship. I have just the person to motivate you, Miss Carolyn Dillworth, and she is the founder, creator of Greater St. Louis Resource Development Services. Carolyn, before we left, you were discussing some of the skills that were needed to get involved in the entrepreneurship. Can you tell me what skill you would recommend one to establish most of all?
Well, being in the information age that we're in now, I would definitely encourage developing computer skills.
Okay.
I think when SBA did their research on why businesses fail, one of the reasons was they did not comply and provide Internal Revenue Services with the tax forms in a timely manner, or either the tax forms would not be complete properly. So if you had a computer with a software to generate those forms on a regular basis so that you can meet the deadlines and to do it accurately, you would probably save yourself a lot of grief as an entrepreneur. Okay. So I would definitely encourage you to have computer skills, and this will help you keep organized as well, because you can do your invoicing, you can keep up with your accounts receivable if that's the type of service or product that you provide that requires payments in 30 days. That would be the main skills that I would develop. And then I would encourage you also to develop management skills so you can, well, I guess you could say management would include accounting, but you would want to include accounting, you want to include marketing, any type of business skills that you can acquire, that would be important.
Okay.
And the SBA is pretty good about providing a lot of workshops, especially in regards to tax preparation.
Oh, really?
Because they recognize that is a source of problem for small and new businesses.
Okay. Say we have an individual maybe got laid off their job at the age of 50. Okay. And maybe all they have is a high school education. They didn't further with college. But they have some techniques and some skills or, approaches, dreams that they have they want to utilize, but they don't know how to go about it. And they don't have the computer background either, nor management. Would you recommend them to go back to school or what?
Most definitely. You could never be too educated. It always is a benefit to your business, it's an asset to your business to have those skills. I would encourage, especially with a lot of the local community colleges that offer these courses really inexpensively.
Okay.
I would encourage people to go and take that computer class or take that accounting 101 or take that finance 101, management 101.
Okay. And
you don't have to work toward a degree. Just simply take those courses. And I think, if I understand correctly, these colleges offer these courses just for entrepreneurs. So you don't have to go through a 2-year or 4-year program.
But you need to take some type of classes just to help broaden your knowledge in the field.
Absolutely. Because, and I also encourage you to learn as much about your industry. So you are inevitably in school. The entire time that you're in business, you're going to have to be in school because you're going to have to keep up with the trends. You're going to have to keep up with the technology within your industry.
Okay.
So you cannot escape going to school, getting the education, but the basics are very important, the basics and the business skills.
Carolyn, tell me, for some of the entrepreneurs that's out here, what do you think has caused some of them to just fail?
Well, in addition to poor management skills, and then of course I mentioned the Internal Revenue, get in trouble with the Internal Revenue Services. I think a lack of a plan.
A lack of a plan?
Yes.
Okay.
It gets back to write your vision and make it plain. When I talk to people, when they say, oh, I have this great idea, and they proceed to tell me about their idea, I said, where is it? Do you have it in writing? And they said, no, it's up here.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, that it's so important to put it in writing. Why is it so important to put it in writing? You lose it?
Well, that is a factor, but to me, putting it in writing helps you to think it through, to anticipate problems. It helps you to stay focused. It helps you to control the business. It directs you. In fact, oftentimes, even in my own business, if I get off track, I can go back to my business plan and say, oh, this is where I need to be.
Okay.
But see, I've thought it through, and I've written these things down, and it kind of keeps me abreast of where I'm supposed to be, and it monitors to me.
Okay.
So it's very important to write the plan. And people are challenged to write a business plan because in order to get funds, it is required, especially when you're applying for a loan. The banks want to see a legitimate business plan because the banks are more concerned with how you're going to pay them back if you get a loan.
Right, you're right.
Yeah, and then if you look at it from a non-for-profit perspective, they're more concerned with, is your mission consistent with our mission? You know, when you have a funder who wants to help homelessness, and if you don't have a business plan that states very clearly in the mission statement that you want to address homelessness, then you're not compatible.
Oh.
So it's very important to have these things written out so that people, especially when people are giving you money, they want to know how you're going to use that money.
Exactly.
They want to know what type of methods you're going to use.
You can't just go in there talking up something off the top of your head.
Absolutely. You might forget yourself. So.
That's right.
So it's very important to have it in writing, but those three main...
That also helps you present yourself with good presentational skills as well when you're trying to get
Oh, for sure, because oftentimes
money.
you may not have no more than maybe 10 minutes to present yourself. So a business plan will help you be organized.
Exactly.
So,
well, tell me something. What are some of the most common self-employed businesses in the market right now?
In my experience, I have found daycares to be a very...
Daycare is?
Daycare is a very common one, especially among women. And then it's a legitimate one because there is a great need for daycare services, especially with more women going into the workforce. So I found it to be a very positive one.
Well, you know, that's true, too, because we got a lot more people working today, and with the children, they need someone to watch the children.
Absolutely. But all you have to do is just kind of watch the economy, see what type of needs are out there. I mentioned this once before, and it's very important that we must understand that if there is a need out there, that's the best thing. That's the best way to explore a business, is to find out. I mean, even the business that I'm in, when I looked around and I saw people who were not qualified, that was a real problem.
Okay.
So, in essence, you're in business to find a solution to a problem.
Right.
And if you see a problem in society, that's an excellent idea for a business.
Okay.
But yeah, daycare was one of them, and you know, you see a lot of car washes. I'm not sure. I don't know the statistics on car wash, but I see a lot of those.
Okay.
I had one gentleman to come in who was interested in developing a laundromat. For whatever reason, this has been a dream that he's always wanted.
Okay.
Clerical services, computer services, teaching.
What about lawn services?
Lawn landscaping, I have one client in East St. Louis who has a very lucrative lawn services. In fact, he has a lot of businesses. He has some profitable and non-for-profit businesses. And he recently got a grant to provide landscaping services. But what he does, in order to qualify for the grant, he trained young kids and helped them develop skills. Normally, he would not have been eligible for a grant because he's a profitable business. But he had one side of his business where he's teaching kids. And he probably choose high-risk children, kids who are dropped out, and help them develop a skill. So that makes him qualified.
Exactly.
For
So
the
he can
grant.
weigh it out and make it work both ways.
Absolutely.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
We got to take another break. We'll be
Sure.
right back. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of Miss Carolyn Dillworth, our entrepreneurship motivator of Greater St. Louis Resource Development Services. Stay with us.